Let's switch back to the community. You talked about what you do for the community across our entire state, and I know that giving back is one of the core values beyond just the day-to-day work that you do. And I'd love to hear, what are some of the ways that Young Brothers gives back?
To the community, yeah. In the intro, you said we employ 400 people, and I'd like to highlight that, right? Because that's important. That is who we are. We employ 400 people statewide in the communities that we operate. So they are residents of those communities. And that's important because they have a vested interest in delivering what matters most for Hawaii. And what it also gives us an opportunity to do is provide good, meaningful jobs in each of those communities that we operate in. And that also means that they're tied to the customers, right? And these organizations that work and operate there. I'll go first to agriculture, right? I mentioned earlier talking about how we provide access for agriculture or farmers to the Honolulu markets or even throughout the world. And that's important to highlight because Young Brothers provides an agricultural discount to these farmers. So on an annual basis, our give back is about $2 million annually. And that helps subsidize their business, right? Again, farming is challenging anywhere in the world, but particularly in an island that's so remote. But it's critical, and it's important for us as a state to be sustainable. And so we take pride in being able to deliver that. But we also do and give back in conventional ways. So as part of the Saltchuk Regional Giving Program, every year we look for organizations that are generally supporting post-secondary education, right? Development of our youth, because they are our future. And so we take pride and we take a lot of time to identify programs specifically on the neighbor islands because they don't have as many entities that are giving to them to try to help support programs for development of our youth.
That's really impressive. I love that because our company as well at Pacific Point, one of our give back programs is really about giving back to youth more on the technology side. We do some stuff with 6th through 8th grade. We even do stuff at the university level and really encouraging youth to pursue technology careers. But part of youth for us in the broader perspective is exactly what you said. They're the next generation of leaders, right. And we've got to give back to the youth. So. Yeah. Like the common interest there. So switching gears a little bit, obviously you've demonstrated what a great thing it is that Young Brothers does, but it takes a lot to run that. But I want to learn a little bit more about you for our audience, a little personal stuff here. So can you tell us, what are some of your favorite family activities that you do?
Yeah, Dina, I have 3 young kids and, about the same age as your son. And so most of our time, honestly, is at kids sports, but we think that's a very important thing, and we really appreciate our time to be able to celebrate with one another, particularly because our view is that sports is a good chance to teach values and really find times where we have adversity and we work through that adversity and just really demonstrate a work ethic and we often almost in a weird way, right? My family chants hard work pays off all the time. But I think that's a very important value for my children to learn. And it's just wonderful to see them grow. But really, I think what we enjoy most is doing nothing. And that's very infrequent because most often we're going from this practice to that game to this one. With 3 kids, it's hard to balance. So when we have chances to just sit at home and enjoy a meal together or just do nothing, that's really the most precious time that we have with one another.
That's cool. I'm glad that you like sports personally too. So yes, yeah, I'm really big into that. You're going to laugh at this, but our company actually has a culture thing that we call the consultant athlete mindset. Okay. And it's all about, putting team sports into the day-to-day that we do here at our company too. So big fan. Now, what about when you do have those do nothing days where you have some time to yourself, outside of hauling the kids from this thing to that thing, what do you like to do in your spare time?
Yeah, I'm fortunate and blessed to have a very supportive wife. So while I have a job that takes a lot of time and we have 3 young children, my wife and we understand for each other that we need time for ourselves. Because it's important for us to be the best version of ourselves so that we can be a good husband, wife, executive, and parent. And so, I do spend time for myself almost on a daily basis. Exercise is a part of my regular routine. and so there's a therapeutic part to it, right? So it keeps my mental state positive, but it's also good for my physical state. And so if I'm healthy, then my body is sustainable, and I can do the things that I need to do for my family, for employees, and for the community for the long haul. But, I also love to play golf, right? And probably don't play golf as often as I would like. And that, I think every golfer can relate to that. But again, it's a simple activity. I'm not saying it's easy, but simple, like it's hitting a white ball, but you get out in the sun and your mind is just at ease, right? You're not worried about the day-to-day stresses, whether it's family or work. And so I love to do things that keep me active.
That's great. Cool. Well, I want to transition the get to know you part a little bit back to your work at Young Brothers. When you reflect on your time there, are there any key highlights or favorite moments at the port?
Yeah. When once we got out of the COVID challenges, we instituted an annual summer barbecue throughout all of our ports. And what that's about is really about connecting with our employees and reinforcing the familial values that are really core and center to our organization. And so, by breaking bread together, it gives us a real chance to connect with employees, and they get to meet our leaders, understand our perspectives, and know that we're real people and that we, at the end of the day, care most about our employees and our communities. And what's interesting through that process is to really understand that we're all the same. We all have the same objectives, right? We care about our community, we care about our families, and we really truly care about each other. And I think that's what makes Young Brothers special, right? That just sense of belonging and community.
That's really cool. Well, thank you for your time, number one. Young Brothers sounds like an amazing place, probably a lot to do with your leadership.
Thank you.
The history of the company, but I really thank you for your time, and it's been a great pleasure to work with you over this period of time too. So thank you for that opportunity, and we will be around again.
Thanks, Dina. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.